That's okay. Oh, he's so cute.
Thank you for letting me bring him.
That's no problem.
My name is Monika Rostvold. I am 23 years old and I am going to be a senior at Texas State, and my major is a studio art with a concentration in painting. Well, growing up, you know, my parents were divorced, but they stayed friends for a while, for a long time, and I don't know, I just kind of grew up in like a very like liberal household. Everyone was very relaxed, and my mom was very, she always told us, you know, make sure like, you know, she just wanted us to have our own ideas and kind of think for ourselves and stuff like that. So it was pretty interesting. And then I decided to come to Texas State because I was living in San Antonio by myself for a little while, and you know, I needed like a fresh pace, and I wasn't going to school, and I really just needed something new in my life, and I decided to come here because it's just, ever since like I came to visit the campus like years and years ago, I just like loved it here.
So what was the initial reason you decided to do this piece?
I kind of needed to do this for like, you know, I felt like it was a topic that needed to be talked about. And when it comes to like a lot of my works, like I said, my mom always taught me to think for myself, and I always just kind of thought about, you know, why are women, like all of this advertisement and stuff, you know, women are seen like so like objectified, and you know, with the media just and technology and everything, it's all in our face all the time, and like to me, I don't understand why that is, and it was something that I just kind of needed to do just to kind of like, you know, I feel like my body is natural and I don't see anything wrong. I don't think it should be seen as a sexual object, and I kind of wanted to just, you know, I feel like I needed to express that to a certain extent.
So did you just come up with this on your own, or was it for a class assignment?
It wasn't for a class assignment. When it comes to like the painting classes at Texas State, like when you're in upper level classes, they give you almost like a free range to experiment and do whatever you want. So we don't really have like assignments necessarily, and it wasn't really for a class assignment. I do side projects outside of my school stuff, and I wanted to do it just as an experiment, and I talked with my teachers and I've talked with my friends, and we had conversations about it, but it wasn't for necessarily like a class project.
So was this piece a response to an experience you had, or were you just trying to make a statement about something just that women in general tend to have to deal with?
Well, I mean, I definitely think like it was a personal experience that I had, but you know, I don't think that I'm the only one that has had these kind of experiences. You know, I feel like other people have had similar experiences, similar stories, and so I felt like kind of putting it out there, you know, not just for myself but for everyone. I mean, it is an art project, you know, it was a performance piece because I am an artist, so I call it a performance piece and not like a protest, because I know that a lot of people have been calling it a protest, but I'm just performing, and I'm, you know, trying to spark conversations. I mean, it wasn't really like, I didn't expect it to be as viral as it is. I just expected for, you know, like a social experiment kind of thing, and like view what happens and take it into account and note for myself. And so like, yeah, it just kind of ended up becoming something bigger than I thought it would ever be.
So at what point did you decide, I am going to do this?
I guess I decided because I was thinking about it, and I had this idea in my mind for like at least a month, and you know, I think about like a week ago, I was like, okay, like I need to do this, and I need to do this soon, because I've been stewing on it, And if I don't do this soon, you know, like I'm not gonna have the guts to do it, you know. And so I asked a few of my classmates to help me out like a week in advance so that they could clear their schedule and they could come help me.
How did you get permission to do the project?
I actually didn't have permission to do the project by Texas State or anybody by that sense. I just kind of like was going to do it, but I researched the Texas State nudity laws, and I made sure that I wasn't breaking any laws when it came to that kind of stuff. So I knew that what I was doing wasn't wrong. You know, I wanted to make sure that I was, you know, following the laws and not doing anything illegal.
So how did you prepare mentally and emotionally for what you were about to do?
Preparing like mentally, I wasn't really nervous until it started. I was really like calm about it and was like, you know, ready to do it. But then once I put that blindfold on and I couldn't see anything, I was really, you know, it's like a shock factor because I'm sitting there so vulnerable and, you know, I don't know what's going on around me and I don't know what's going to happen, you know. And so I had to kind of zone into like myself and kind of be like not focusing on like things around me and just focusing on like my breathing and focusing on just like my body, being aware that my body is there, and just, you know, like a meditative kind of thing, which sounds like really cheesy, but, you know, it's the truth, for sure.
Did you have any family or friends that you talked to about this project beforehand?
I discussed this with my friends, my teachers, and my family. Everybody thought that it would be something good to talk about and to do. I told my mom about it. My mom was just like, I don't want to hear anymore. Just tell me about it when it's over, because she, of course, is terrified of what might happen, you know, if it got out of hand or anything like that. So she's supportive of it now, and she's really proud. But before, just, I guess, me telling her like I want to do a performance piece that involves, you know, me being almost naked, she was really terrified, and I told her what it was for and what it was about, and she kind of was like, okay, that's all I need to hear. I don't need to hear anymore. Just tell me when you're done with it.
So no conservative grandmas that were completely against it.
No, I only have one grandma right now, and she's deaf and she's almost blind, so she doesn't really know about any of social media or anything like that. So
do you have any religious or spiritual beliefs that you had to come face to face with when deciding to do this project?
No, like when it comes to spiritual beliefs, I guess just like restating the fact that like I think this is natural. You know, I don't think, you know, we're born naked, and, you know, it's just kind of how we are. And I don't think that, you know, if all of us women, you know, if it's more okay for us to be in public, you know, and being natural and comfortable with ourselves, there'll be so much less media coverage of all these objectified women, you know, because a lot of the women that are out there for media that are wearing as much or as little clothes as I was, like, they're very sexualized. And I feel like spirituality, like if everyone was okay with themselves and we allowed it to be okay to express ourselves and show ourselves naturally, you know, it just shows like a better overall for everyone, you know.
So basically what you're saying is that if we were all naked all the time, it would become something so normal that it would no longer have this crazy effect on people the way it seems to have.
Yeah, if we show people, well, in a sense, if we show people, you know, less, you know, body objectification and more of it being, you know, natural and powerful, then, you know, people tanning topless, you know, won't be a negative thing. You know, over in Europe, they're a lot more, you know, free with themselves. And I think, you know, we need to kind of embrace it over here.
So describe the events of your day leading up to the actual piece.
Well, I just woke up and just went to school, and my friend Audie, who was going to help me record it and just make sure that like nothing got out of hand, he told me he was on campus, and so I was like, okay. We met up and we kind of went through, like, I wanted to make sure that if anybody, like the cops or anything, I didn't want them to go up to him and be like, hey, she needs to stop this. I wanted them to come up to me personally and talk to me about it. And so I told them, I was like, you know, if anybody asks you, just say that you're an observer, you know, and that you're like, I'm just observing this right now. And so we just kind of talked over, like, you know, if this situation happened, how would we handle it and stuff like that. And then we went and we just rented the equipment and went down there.
So what was going on just in general in those last 30 minutes before you were officially sitting on the stairs of Alkek, blindfold, and headphones on?
I mean, nothing really exciting really happened. I mean, we were at the JCM and we were just, like I said, we were just hanging out, talking about what if this happens. And then we walked down there and we were talking about where I should sit. And we were talking about how should we set up the camera and all that kind of stuff. And so we went to the library because I wanted to do it at 11 o'clock. And it was like a little bit till then, and we went to the library to charge up the video camera, and we just sat around and we're like, okay, alright. Yeah. We were all casual about it. It wasn't like that nerve-wracking until it happened. Whenever it happened, it got nerve-wracking.
Okay. What was going through your mind when you finally sat down?
I think I started getting the most nerves when I was taking my clothes off, because you know, that first moment of like me taking my clothes off, it was like me really stripping down, you know, and exposing myself, and yeah, that was just like the nerves that I had. Can you restate that sentence again?
Yeah. What was going through your mind when you finally sat down?
Yeah, I just finally, like, I sat down and I put the blindfold on and the headphones, and I just got really, really nervous, and like my heart was seriously pounding so hard, and it was just getting really crazy, and I was like, I need to take deep breaths, you know, like, because it's scary, you know, and like I don't know what was gonna happen. And so I just kept thinking to myself, like, you know, like, you're doing this for a reason, and it's gonna be okay, you know.
Were you sitting on anything, or were you just sitting on the steps?
Just the sound on the steps.
What were you listening to on your headphones?
I originally was going to be listening to degrading rap music and just music in general, like degrading stuff where it talks about like objectification of women and women as objects and stuff like that. But we had a problem with the video camera that we rented out was actually dead when we got it, and so we went and we charged it, and it only said that it had like 20 minutes of battery life, and so we were like, what are we gonna do about this? And so we had to kind of like use my phone as the camera, and so I was like talking to them, and I still wanted to put my headphones on, because the whole reason why I have the headphones and I have the blindfold is because I wanted to take my identity out of it, and I wanted it just to be the female body, and so I didn't want to hear anything or see anything. And so the headphones were a sound blocker to take the sound out of it.
Like, how did you feel when you felt someone just come up and just touch you? Like,
I was scared, yeah, because I didn't know who it was. I didn't know why they were doing it.
How different was it for you when the girl came and took the blindfold and headphones off of you? Was it easier, like, not being able to hear or see people watching you? Did it make things worse? Did it make things easier?
At that point, because she took my blindfold off, there was like a phase that happened where it started off when everybody was, really taking photos of me at the beginning and all this kind of stuff, and then the cops came, and then once the cops came and let me stay, that's when people were wondering, like, oh, well, she's doing this because she wants to, and she's kind of like she's doing this for a reason, and then it made them think about it a little bit. And I put my blindfold back on, and then this girl comes and takes it back off, and it was like during that time, there was people that were sitting next to me eating their lunch, just kind of like all that kind of stuff, and it was more of like a positive at that point, like everybody was seeing it as something positive. So I don't, like, whenever I was blindfolded, I don't know what was going on, and it was scary. And then at the end of it, whenever I was sitting there with my blindfold off, I was still scared, but it was more of a fact of, like, there was girls sitting next to me, and they were almost like supporting me, and so that was like a really good thing to have around.
So how did the police end up getting your attention? I mean, what were you thinking before you realized they were officers?
They were trying to get my attention, and they took my blindfold off and my headphones off. They took off my headphones first, and they were like, this is the police department, you need to tell us, what you're doing. And I didn't want to be responsive because that was a part of it, and I knew that, like, after a certain point that I would have to.
So how did you feel when the officers started questioning you? I mean, were you nervous? Was there any doubt in your mind, even though you knew what you were doing was totally legal, that maybe they could get you on something and make you leave, or, I don't know, arrest you for public indecency or something?
Yeah, I mean, that was definitely like a possibility that I had. I thought maybe I would get ticketed or something. So whenever I was talking to them, like, I kept my cool because, I've researched and I knew what to do, but at the same time, when it comes to cops, sometimes they can really get you for anything. And they were telling me how, like, I was disrupting the peace or something like that, and I told them, I was like, I'm quietly sitting here, I'm not trying to, cause a scene, I'm just doing my performance. And they were like, okay, well, and they kind of like looked around at each other and were like, now what do we do? They're like,
So did the officers end up telling you to leave, or did they leave you alone?
They gave me permission to continue.
What were you thinking about the woman who tried to cover you up?
I don't think she knew what I was doing. And I think that she was trying to help in her own way, She probably saw me as someone who was vulnerable and wanted to protect me, and try to help me. And so, like, I don't think, it was her beliefs. She believed that I shouldn't be doing that, and everyone's entitled to their own beliefs and their own opinions when it comes to this kind of stuff. And I'm just expressing how I feel about it, and I'm just showing the world, like, what I think about it, And if she thought that, I should have my clothes on, or whatnot, like, that was her opinion, and I'm not gonna get mad about her, trying to protect myself in the way that she thought that she should.
Did you ever feel unsafe?
Yes. Yeah.
So who else approached you? What were some interesting things that happened while you were doing your piece?
Um, there was this girl who approached me, and she just sat there next to me. She sat and she came and she ate her lunch and she was talking to me and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, I thought that was really interesting that, you know, she just came and she sat and she observed and she supported. And then one of the most interesting things that happened is after, whenever, you know, it really became positive at the end, because people left me notes. People left me, you know, water, snacks, flowers, necklace, you know, people started leaving me, and I was not expecting that at all. I was not expecting that at all.
So what happened in the next 30-minute time frame after your piece ended?
Well, when I ended the piece, I just quietly put my clothes back on and walked away. And one of the first people that came up to me was the San Antonio News. Some guy came up to me and was like, I want to talk to you. And I was like, and he's like, no, I'm with the San Antonio News. And I was like, what? And he was telling me how his nephew sent him the photo. His nephew went to A&M, and he sent him a photo about what I was doing, literally right when I was done. I wasn't even done more than 2 minutes. And he's like, can I have your contact information? And I gave him my contact information, and they called me back in like 5 minutes, and they were asking me questions, and it was all so new, and like, you know, like it just happened, and I didn't even have a chance to even like, you know, look at the footage or process it or see what happened and really take it all into account. And so whenever people were asking me questions about it, like, they were like, you know that you're all over the internet, you're on Twitter? And I was like, I think I'm on Twitter. I mean, I don't know. I didn't know about any of that stuff until like I got back into my classroom and everyone started showing me all this stuff, and I was just like what, like, this is like, I didn't expect for this many people to take photos, you know, and I wasn't expecting for this much of a reaction, which is a positive thing. I'm glad that it got everyone's attention and that everyone, you know, was really interested and supported it, but it was just like a real shock factor for me that it got, you know, so much attention.
How was the rest of your day?
It was all surreal to me the rest of the day, because people were, you know, messaging me at first. At first, you know, everyone was like, Naked Girl at Alkek, you know, and that was kind of what it was at first. And then I got instantly messages on Facebook of people saying, you know, like, I'm really proud of what you did, and like, you know, it's awesome to see this kind of stuff happening at Texas State. And it was just like a bunch of like positive feedbacks that I was getting, and it really touched me and it made me feel like it was worth it.
How do you feel about being known as the Naked Alkek Girl? I mean, that's now your legacy here.
I mean, I don't really know exactly, like, all of this is so new. It doesn't bother me. I did my performance piece, and the fact that people are talking about it is, you know, a positive thing to me. And so whatever names, whatnot, they're going to affiliate me with or whatnot, that's just kind of, you know, how it goes.
Does anyone recognize you and approach you?
I've only had a few, and people will come up to me and be like, you know, that was really awesome what you did, and, you know, thank you for doing this and speaking up for what you believe in and stuff like that. But I mean, I don't think people really recognize that it's me.
So was there anything in particular that inspired this piece?
Well, I was a survivor of being sexually assaulted, but I don't want to go into depth about my personal experience because it's my body and I'm taking back, you know, my ownership of it, and I feel like that's, you know, something that, you know, 1 out of 4 girls, we all have or 1 in 4 girls have been sexually assaulted. So that's something that, it's sad that it's that common, but it needs to be talked about. And I just feel like if we come together and kind of like, express it's okay, like, to talk about this kind of stuff. And it's like an emotional outlet, like for me personally, it's hard to deal with when something like that happens to you, but I have to express myself when it comes to anything, and so this was a way to express how I feel about this type of topic.
Do you feel like this performance solved any problems, or do you feel like there's more questions?
I just think the fact that people are talking about it, and it's sparking a conversation, I feel like that did something. I don't want to, I don't know, I just feel like just people talking about it in general, it's doing something. And other people have come up and told me their stories of what has happened to them, and this one girl came up to me, told me her story, and told me how she feels like she's not alone anymore, and that she, we can talk about this kind of stuff. And she actually created Survivors at Texas State, and it's a Facebook page where you can anonymously support each other and share your stories about being sexually assaulted.
What are some of your favorite reactions people have had to this? I mean, you're a meme now, basically.
Yeah, there's memes. There's the one that's like Naked and Afraid, and there's like a Febreze one, which is funny because those actually popped up pretty quickly, and I don't know, I thought that was kind of funny, that someone would go ahead and do something like that.
So someone said on Twitter that the Alkek Girl is the reason guys our age do not value women. Like, why do you think this individual said this, and why is it untrue?
I mean, I'm sure she probably said it because she's used to our bodies being sexual objects. And so usually when it comes to, if some people put their body out there, it's sexualized. And so she's probably used to that.
What are some of the negative things you've heard people say about what you did, either through comments or in person?
I think a funny negative comment that somebody put, it was like a tweet or something, and it was like, I don't know what's up with that naked girl, but is there a reason why she's supposed to be so wet? And it's because I was sweating so bad because I was so nervous. And I mean, that's like kind of negative, I guess. I don't know, it wasn't even that much of a negative comment. It's like, those comments kind of, I can't let them sit with me, and everyone's gonna have an opinion,
So you've said, I wanted people to view my body as beauty and power and not a sexual object. Well, okay, like many of the comments that have been made online originally were, why is this girl doing this? What is the point of this? Is she protesting something? And a lot of people didn't quite understand the meaning behind your art piece until it was explained to them online. Looking back, is there anything you would have done differently to, make your message more clear? Or is there anything you would have done differently at all?
I don't think I would have done anything differently. I feel like my message got across.
As you know, this has gone viral. I mean, HuffPost has picked this up, Cosmopolitan magazine. Most girls are scared of their nude photos getting leaked onto the internet. I mean, like, how do you feel having that photo of you all over the internet? And is there a difference between your photo being on the internet versus their photo being on the internet?
Well, I think when it comes to women's photos getting leaked, that's because of, someone putting it out there as, you know, like a sexual, if I feel like if a female posted a picture of herself in a way that she wants to be portrayed, that's a different story than if someone took a photo or had a photo that was given personally and then shared it with everybody else and objectified her.
So do you think this is going to affect your life negatively or positively? I mean, you're a college student, you're going to graduate soon. Do you think this is going to affect your life with job opportunities or future family or anything like that?
I don't really know because I've never thought about it. I never thought that this would this would happen, or that this would become as big of a, you know, message. And so I haven't even really thought about any of that kind of stuff.
Okay. What kind of jobs do you think you would apply for in the future?
Well, I just kind of want to work, you know, in the art community. And it can go to anything as, like, you know, helping someone in their studio or working at a gallery or anything of that sort.
Okay.
And also just, like, my own paintings and being an artist.
So what is next?
I don't know. Don't think I'm going to do another performance soon. I don't have any ideas or anything, but, you know, I'm still painting, and, you know, I'm making paintings right now, and I'm just gonna keep working on my art.
So where did you buy the pasties and thong, and what were you using as a blindfold?
I went to Target. That was it. And then it's just like a red satin ribbon that I used.
Wait, so they have pasties at Target?
Yeah.
Oh my god, I didn't
find
even know that.
Yeah, you can buy them. You can buy them anywhere.
So, do you think this is going to turn into a Halloween costume?
I don't know. I really don't. I mean, maybe. I don't know. Well, probably not. I mean, I don't think anybody would.
So how would you react if you saw someone dressed up as the Naked Alkek Girl for Halloween?
I would give them 2 thumbs up, you know, because then they get it and they think that it's like an awesome message too, and they just, you know, that kind of stuff.